Well, hello, my name is Tim Bycroft, and I'm the lead pastor at The Point Church. I am glad that you guys are checking in with us. I want to just tell you something. Not only do I have a lot of merch on, the reason I have a lot of merch on is that I have the best job in the best church ever. I love what I get to do. I get to work with some of the most amazing people in the world. Yes, the people who are in this community, the people who are part of this church, love them to death. You guys are some of the most messy, jacked up people in the world, but I think that's what makes us roll, man. And I love it. I love what I get to do every single day. If you've been around the Point Church very long, you know that we exist to welcome the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. And you guys are doing this in amazing, amazing ways, impacting our community, impacting people's lives for the cause of Jesus Christ. And I love just to be able to partner with you in this endeavor. I love partnering and seeing what God is doing through you and into this community. We all know the last couple of years have been incredibly challenging. A lot of change has taken place over the last 2 years because with COVID, obviously the pandemic. But I think that has actually created some great opportunities for us. I'm coming to you from a room right now that was developed just because it kind of forced our hand to make changes, to reach people. During the pandemic season when the doors of the church building were closed, the church never stopped. And that was amazing to watch. So many people staying connected, staying engaged. I think over this last year, 2021, we could have just really pulled back and stopped doing a lot of things, but we made some incredible changes and yet still made some incredible impact upon our community. So I thank you guys, because you guys are the ones who did that. I think about PADS ministry. Now, we weren't able to do what we've been able to accomplish in PADS over the last several years due to the pandemic, but here's the good news. PADS is coming back into this building, and we're going to be able to serve the homeless of our area again. And we have so many people that love doing that. I think about our food pantry. Just last Monday, they fed over 400 families in one day. 400 families in one day. This is incredible impact. I think about the people who have been through Financial Peace University. I think about the Zion Family Resource Center and Mary King and all that she's doing to help pregnant moms and dads and families in our community. I think about things like our funeral ministry. Man, it sounds like a terrible thing to think about, but during those times where families are grieving, there's not a better chance to help and support and love and care on people than through our funeral ministry, and it's just doing a tremendous job. I think about how we're able to mentor kids in the schools. I think about how amazing even the children's program, our AIM program with the kids here at the church, is doing an amazing job as well. We're going to be doing Rebuilding Together again this year. Give us a thumbs up on that. That's one of my favorite projects. We've been doing that for many, many years. Again, with the pandemic, we had to kind of pull back from that, but been talking with Rebuilding Together people, and we're probably going to be doing another local house this year. Growth groups all over the area. I mean, we call them life groups here, but the amount of life groups that have just continued and started and building life with each other and doing life with each other, and I got a story behind that too. I'm going to share with you here in a little bit. Medical missions. We were able to accomplish medical missions even during a pandemic season. We have amazing weekend services, and people are still able to come and attend. And interestingly enough, we've got a lot of people that are still watching online because of whatever reasons, but I will tell you that our services are growing and they're full of life. You can just feel the spirit in there. They're rocking, relevant, and real, as we've labeled them before, and I think that is so true. AIM Kids, I mentioned this a minute ago, how our kids, but it's just blowing up. It's so fun to watch the kids as they get up, because they're in there for family worship right at the beginning for the first couple songs, and then we let our kids go back so that they can teach our adults how Jesus lived. And the funny thing about that is when they get up, it looks like a scene out of Braveheart. I mean, all these kids rushing to the door. It's so fun. and amazing. And then we have our bridge, which, man, our bridge kids, amazing group of leaders, amazing group of kids that are going to be going into junior high and high school here in the next few years. And there's some incredible leaders in those children right there. It's fun to watch. Again, our junior high and high school, Sarah has come in this last year and just knocking it out of the park. We've actually had, what was it, like a 1,500% increase in our junior high and high school ministry. So, man, the church is just doing amazing things. We still have the Hispanic church, Pastor Juan and his church, that are meeting here in this building. Being able to reach a segment of our culture that desperately needs Jesus. It's a growing aspect of our culture, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of a church that has a Hispanic outreach. So many things that take place, even in this building, that have continued on. We've got the scouts that are meeting here. This is a polling place, weddings, funerals, so many different aspects of just community activity happening in this building. All of these things are done because you participating and worshiping God and going into our community and serving our community. I guarantee you that the Point Church is on the move. We've been through a lot of change over this last year, but we haven't slowed down. And God is using you in tremendous ways to bring the message of Jesus Christ to the people who need it. Can I tell you why that's happening? The reason that all these different things that I just listed, I just took a few minutes to talk about. The reason that is happening is the church only exists. The church is only the church when it exists for other people. And you guys know this. You guys get this. The church is only the church when people know that the true source of life is found in Jesus Christ, and they can't help but share that with other people. You guys understand the mission of the church is to welcome the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus Christ. This ministry and all the ministries that we do, this church exists and happen because of you and your support and the resources and your talents and giftedness and abilities. I have the best job in the world to be able to partner with you guys and see this happen. I said I had a couple of stories, and one is around the VBS. Last year, we weren't even sure VBS was going to happen, and it was kind of amazing to watch this church come together. Literally within a couple of weeks, VBS was put together and done so extremely well. Some great leaders were able to step in and just make that happen. And Shannon Hine was one of those great leaders that orchestrated and maneuvered, and all the staff that came around her, and my wife Mindy and her and several other people just made VBS go last year. But a story out of that was, towards the end of the week, I was talking with one of the moms who had a couple of kids, and her kids had been quarantined, going into the pandemic season, and they just hadn't been out. And VBS was one of the first times that her and her kids, and they didn't have a church family, they were unchurched, but they felt like this was a place that they could bring their kids. And her kids were so excited every night because, number one, they were just having a blast. But they were learning about who Jesus was. And this mom came to me and she was just full of tears. And because of that outreach, because we took a chance to do a VBS in a time where it was difficult to do with VBS, a mom connected, and she's still here at this church, and her kids are growing, and her kids are learning about who Jesus Christ is in our AIM Kids department. There's another story that I can't help but share about. One of our people who understands the vision of welcoming the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus invited a friend to come to church. You see, his friend had just lost her husband. He died suddenly, literally in her arms, and she was pretty devastated, pretty angry with God, pretty mad at life. And he invited her to church. He invited her to come to this church. And I remember she hadn't talked to me. She'd met a lot of people in the church, but one day I got a phone call. and she talked to me. And she says, Tim, I've been angry with God. I'm angry at life. Why would God allow something like this to happen? And I said, I don't have all the answers to your questions, but I do know this, that there is a group of women who can help you through this, can answer your questions a lot better than I probably could ever do. And so she got connected into this life group where these women were able to pour into her and love on her and care for her, and they brought her to Thanksgiving dinners and the Christmas dinners and shared with her and just brought her in and loved on her. They welcomed the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. I remember that I got word one evening that she wanted to get baptized. She'd reached out to one of the ladies in her life group and said, hey, I've come to a point where I don't fully understand why God would take my husband, but I do trust that he had everything in control. And I'm going to trust that. And I'm going to give my life to him. And I want to get baptized. What an amazing day that was. Many of you probably were here to see her be immersed into Jesus Christ, to dedicate her life to him, being buried with him in the watery grave of baptism and coming up a new creation. And I remember that smile on her face. J.B. Clausen had the opportunity to baptize his friend. What a great day that was. Unfortunately and sadly, a week later, she went home to be with Jesus. I truly believe that she had given her life to him at just the right time, God's perfect timing. But I will tell you this, that the church was there for her. The church was there for her when she needed the church and she needed Jesus the most. That's what we do, to welcome the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus. And I will tell you this, that these kinds of stories, and I can tell you story after story after story, happen all the time. But the reason they happen is because of you. Because of the dedication of you serving Jesus by serving others. We have a lot of resources. We have a lot of talents, a lot of abilities, a lot of giftedness. I came to you guys in November. You may be remembering this, that I came and I said, hey, we're kind of a little short in our finances. We've got a lot of amazing things happen, but we're a little short in our finances. And the amazing thing is, and we wanted to end the year in the black, and we were short. We were going to be short of ending the year in the black. But I will tell you this, because of the generosity of many people, and because of the extreme generosity of a few people, we ended up ending the year in 2021 in the black, which I didn't think was going to be able to happen because we had dug so far into our emergency fund. But because of you, because you care, because you understand that we welcome the unchurched to become fully devoted followers of Jesus, and he uses us and our resources to do so, you guys made it happen. I love what I get to do. I love this church. And so I ask you, as we go into 2022, we're into February already. We've got a full calendar, full steam ahead, a lot of things planned. I look forward to seeing how all these plans come to fruition through God working in you and working in this church to create a community of believers who is reaching a community that is desperate and hopeless without Jesus Christ. So thank you for partnering with us. Obviously, we need your resources. Well, actually, God doesn't need your resources, but the church should sure use them. And so I'm going to ask you, if you've never gone to pointgive.org, please do so. Links down below. Also, with full transparency, I'm talking about money right now. Full transparency. If you want to see where our money goes, we have a budget. And there's going to be a link down below that'll show you where, I call it a spending plan, because we never know how much money is going to come in or how much money we're going to need in certain areas. But this kind of gives us an idea of where those finances go. We always want to be open and transparent with where our finances are with you, because we think that's vitally, vitally important. So you can find that on that link if you go to thepointwh.org, and we'll have that link for the budget there. Listen, I've taken enough of your time. I love you guys. I really do. I love this community. I love this church. I love being able to do what I get to do as the lead pastor of this church. I care about you guys. I love you guys, and I look forward to an amazing year with you. And we'll check in with you each week. If you'll just come to our weekend services, plug in, check in there, and you can follow what we're doing. Love you guys. Take care.